Hello. Most of you know me as John C. Dixon, actor, reenactor and narrator. On the 11th of January 1990 I lost my father, Jan. Most people knew him as Jan Dixon, but in fact my father was Polish. His name, Dabkowski. For 30 years I have been trying to sum up the courage to obtain my father's war record. And today, the package you see on the table in front of you is the information I have. My father gave me very few snippets of information as to what had happened to him during the war, some of which were embellished for whatever reason, and some of which are quite tragic. My father was always my hero, and from what I've been able to understand reading what's in front of me, the life that he suffered during World War II meant that he didn't want us to know what he'd been through. As a rough guide, at the age of 14 as a young boy in Rembertov, my father, together with his father Stanislav and his elder brother, were dragged from their home one morning, taken to a mass grave where they were all executed. As the bullets flew, my father threw himself into the mass grave, where he fortunately survived. His father and brother were not quite so lucky. At midnight that night, he climbed out of the grave, and in his own words, as he retold it to me, he nearly shit himself as a guy at the other end of the line climbed out at the same time. These two men made their way east, thinking that salvation lay at the hands of the Russians. The records in front of me show that from the years of 1940 to 1943, my father spent 4 years nearly in a Siberian concentration camp. He managed to escape and headed back to Poland, where, having arrived back at the hometown of Rembertov, he was then captured by the Germans and sent to a work camp for the Germans instead. He was ultimately liberated by American forces, who, thinking they were doing the right thing, sent him back to Poland, where the Soviets were now in control of his beloved country. Risking being sent to Siberia for a second time, my father escaped and joined the British Army and served in Italy before being honourably discharged as a lieutenant in 1948. It's rather ironic when I look at it now that as he was discharged, he was asked the two areas he would like to be resettled to. His first choice was New Zealand. His second choice, Australia. He ended up in Birmingham, England. All his war records are in Polish, and as yet I've been unable to get them all translated. This man not only was captured by the Russians and the Germans and lost his family, but he never wanted us as a family to know about it. He wanted us to know Jan Dixon as the father and husband that he was until the day he died. As a tribute to my father, I am hoping to write a novel based on his experiences. Thanks to the help of Dr. Stephen P. Moisey and Christina Lutzig-Berger, who I've been fortunate enough to narrate with, this novel is now underway. I did think a testimonial would possibly be the best way forward. Unfortunately, it would be a jigsaw with too many pieces missing. These records will hopefully one day go to my children, Michael and Jamie. And I hope they too will be as proud of their grandfather as I am today. The novel will not just be a tribute to my father. It will not seek to blame or condone anything that happened in the atrocities of World War II. It is simply my father's survival. And I pray most sincerely that what I write is something that will appeal to all lovers of literature. Thank you so much for listening. Good night.